Some of us weren't born with a silver spoon in our mouths like you, my friend. Some of us are gonna make do with just cheap blended scotch. Ugh, guess I picked the wrong day to quit drinking. What? Oh! Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man! At your services. How are you all? Hope you're doing very, very well. Now, me and my little friend here, I've got a little unboxing for you. A mask unboxing. Yes, I know. Aren't these always really exciting? Well, this one might not be that exciting, but I don't know. And the reason why I don't know is because this is not one of your great trick-or-treat masks or trick-or-treat studios or your ghoulish productions, not one of your great big famous esteemed mask producing companies. No, this is a no name, no make, no brand, no idea, didn't cost much. It's just a cheapie. It's a complete little cheapie mask, which once in a while I like to do this. Being a mask collector, I do obviously like the more esteemed, high quality deluxe masks, which when you open it you go, oh, that's what it's meant to be. It looks like the thing from the movie. That's brilliant. But sometimes I like to buy these very obscure little things, which I find, and I just go down the listings, go, oh, that looks interesting. Oh, it's only £11. Oh, I'll have that. I'll take a punt on that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you open up the box and what is revealed to you is a complete latex turd. A shitfest made out of the worst sculpted, flimsiest, badly painted latex you could ever imagine. You just go, fucking hell, what a waste of time that was. But sometimes the flip side occurs and you actually open the box and discover, well, that's actually really good. My God, they should take some kind of recognition for this. Why not put a name on it? Why not tell you who sculpted it? Why not try and market it a bit better? It's actually well worth it. I've got plenty like that. I mean, you go into smithies and any kind of, masquerade place or costumiers for Halloween or whatever, and you, in the old days, before you knew that you could buy these things online and really get the proper stuff, you go into these places and you go like, oh, that's not bad. That looks a bit like Freddy Krueger. Yeah, it does. And then you buy it and then you puts it on like, and it's ripped all the way up to the top here, and it's like, oh, the ears come off and like, oh, just have. It's only half painted. Oh, you're like, whatever. But that was the joy and the risk you took of buying masks. This thing here, I saw it and I thought, oh, that looks all right. And of course it had a couple of pictures where people had bought it and they were wearing it. And I thought, you know what, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. And you got foreign reviews, you got to translate it and all that. Like, and yeah, some were okay, some were like, oh, I don't know. But I thought, well, one thing, it reminds me of the great 77-78 schlock fest that is The Incredible Melting Man by William Sachs. Wrote it, directed it. It's a guilty pleasure, pure cult gem of absolute trash, moist cinema. It's just a film about a guy that comes back from a mission to Saturn and then gets irradiated. His mates in the space capsule get killed, but he survives. Although it's a fate worse than death, because what the radiation's caused him to do is to just dissolve and melt. But not only that, no. In some kind of primordial ooze in the back of his brain, he realizes that to eat human flesh will slow down the melting process. So off he goes, escaping from the especially special winged deserted hospital in the middle of nowhere, which is just like a factory plant, which the film crew managed to hire for like 2 days. We'll make our staff scarce. Just go in there, do your shoot, fuck off, and clean up the mess after you. And he discovers that, takes his bandages off, Steve Rebar, I think his name is, and he plays Steve West, this astronaut, and he discovers when he takes his bandages off, oh no, oh, look at me, and then goes and kills a big fat nurse who does the longest slow motion run down a deserted corridor to then plunge through a really badly sugar glass window door thing to then be eaten by him. And then he goes on a rampage around the countryside, pursued by an overweight general and his friend, Dr. Ted Nelson, played by one of the world's worst actors, Bear de Benning, or Bear de Banning. It's Bear de Arse is what it is. And he is with a Geiger counter going round the woods and shrublands of wherever the hell they are. And oh my God, there's some sludge on a tree. Oh God, it's his ear. But wherever he goes, he tends to leave people on their own. And, for some guy who's like a threat to everybody in the vicinity, he's a space radiation victim and he's on the rampage. He's eating people, for God's sake. Because apparently, even though he's dissolving and leaving bits of himself wherever he goes, so there's less and less of him as the minutes of the film tick by, he's getting stronger all the time. What? How does that figure? He can wrench somebody's head off and throw it into a river. Glorious, glorious, gloopy, gory effects from a very young Rick Baker. Rick Baker! Oscar winner for American Wealth in London. Of course. Rick Baker. Awesomeness. But he grabs this fisherman's head, tears it off and throws it down the river. And in a great separated sequence, because we've forgotten about the fisherman. We forgot he's even been killed. And then William Sachs cuts back to the river and this fantastic floating head lolling about in the river, and it goes over a little waterfall in slow motion and then hits these rocks below and breaks open with a glorious gout of brain glue, bright red blood, and then just flops around on the rocky shelf of this waterfall. It's fantastic. And the film has loads of gory effects in it, loads of gore. And the whole thing culminates in poor Steve West melting away to a dribble of goo amidst some very horribly bedraggled clothing. We've always seen an eye come out and roll down his face. He's lost an arm to another attack, an attack on a lone woman played by Janice Blythe. Janice Blythe from The Hills of Eyes, Wes Craven's awesome Hills of Eyes. Sadly, Janice Blythe was also in Hills of Eyes Part 2. The film with flashbacks within flashbacks. A film where even the dog that survived the first movie has flashbacks to the first movie. But Janice Blythe is gorgeous and she's lovely in this as well. And she defends her house from an attack by this thing. And her husband is played by a cameo appearance by the guy that made The Silence of the Lambs, Jonathan Demme, the late great Jonathan Demme, who did Philadelphia as well. And she hacks off his arm. Not Jonathan Demme's arm, but the melting man's arm. So for half the movie, he's actually even got one arm anyway. And he still managed to kill a bunch of coppers in a big oil refinery power station thing at the end. You always tell cheap budget movies, they manage to get into these sort of foundries and factories because they look great. And if you just want to shoot there for a night, in these sweet talk, the owners, can we just do a couple of hours on the gantry there, turn some of your machinery on, and it'll just look good. It'll look good, and it does look good. That sort of thing always does work. So it does give this movie some kind of gloss and production value. And he manages, I'm Dr. Ted Nelson. I'm his friend. I'm Dr. Ted Nelson, and our hero. These coppers are going like, freeze, don't move. But I'm Dr. Ted Nelson. Bang! Shot in the head. So his friend, the melting astronaut, the melting man, then with only one arm, one eye, one ear, and just a big pile of walking gloop. He's just jelly, or as you guys in America say, jello. Manages to then attack these two policemen and throw the bodies over and fucking kills them. How? He's just a jumble of collapsing mucus. How can you not easily outrun, outfight, and just destroy it? But anyway, it's great. I have the original novelization as well. Woo, look at that. This book came out in 2 versions, by the way. The film in the UK was a AA. It was just a AA, which meant you could be 14 to go and see it. And it is full of blood and guts and gore. And there is a sort of a sleazy, almost rape in it as well. So some films in the UK, I remember like First Blood as well. First Blood was only a double A, and then you're like, whoa, that's some meaty violence in that. So sometimes you get like a really good double A movie, and of course, my misspent youth, most of it spent in the cinema, our local flea pit, the 2-screen Phoenix Cinema in Wallasey Village. Oh, bring it back, the Phoenix may yet rise from its ashes. Run by friends of mine, owned by friends of mine, worked in by more friends of mine. And I went to school with a girl who was a daughter of the ones who owned it. So I got in for nothing, every single day. And I watched movies every day, including double A's when I was only like 7, 8 and 9, and X certificate movies. Oh yes, my education was set in bloody stone. Almost like sacrificial ritual altar stone. And it made me into the bizarrity that I am now. But yeah, that book came out in 2 versions. One version is this lovely artwork there. Brilliant, isn't it? Look, there's the melting gloopy man in half his astronaut suit and half just all bizarre, very weird. And the other book had a better cover, because the other book just had full colour pictures of the melting man himself with all loads of gore, and it was like one big picture of him there, and like I think 3 pictures in various states of meltage down the side. The Incredible Melting Man, he is a human time bomb. Not really. Not really. He's not going to blow up. He's just going to go, which he does at the end, of course. He melts into a little pile of glue, and the poor janitor, storeman at this refinery, petrol station, oil, I don't know what it is, big power station, I don't know what it is. He's there with his rubbish cart, and he's got a big shovel, and he sees all this. He's going, oh, fucking hell, the fucking son of a bitch. Jesus, what's this fucking shit, Jesus? And he shovels up our hero, basically, and just puts him in the bin. And so endeth The Incredible Melting Man. Hang on, did I set out to review that movie, or to open a box with a mask in it? No, I've forgotten as well. You always get more than you bargain for with Kilt-Man. Box. From Amazon. Or Amazon, as some people love to call it. Amazon. I always say Amazon. People go, no, it's Amazon. Well, I go, no it isn't. It's Amazon. What's it matter? Amazon. Yeah, but it's spelled Amazon, isn't it? If you like. Anyway, as I said before, I buy a lot of great masks, like that one. But sometimes I buy shitty little unknown masks, which could be anything. And this mask reminded me of The Incredible Melting Man. So there you go, that's why that huge tangent just took place. So let's have a little skeg at this. A skeg, by the way, if you're not from Merseyside, means let's have a little look at this. Now this rattled a fair bit, so I'm thinking it's got those little polystyrene, little sort of curvy disc things, polystyrene snow. Can have lots of fun with that. Brown paper! Which I find is how toilet paper always ends up, no matter what colour it was to begin with. This stuff's great because it fills masks like that. So don't ever dispose of it, folks, if you're mask collecting. This stuff's really good. It's really good. It's definitely red and pink and gloopy. So it's not the wrong mask. Because that's the chance you take with some of these sort of, these no-name brands. Sometimes you get something which was not what you actually ordered. And it's in a little sort of, one of them little resealable bags. Let's get him out. So it says on there, Halloween party supplies, new toy, don't know, made in China anyway. There's a little label which is just tumbled on the floor. You're all waiting to see what this is going to look like. Was that the mask, or was that just part of my anatomy? Rising from beneath the tartan. Oh, melts me, baby. Sweet baby Jesus. We're talking flimsy, thin, but not too thin latex. And we're talking a rather gloriously elaborate paint job on it. And look at the meltiness, the melty ooziness. One eye left, so we've already lost an eye. We've got some suppurating wounds across the fod. Oh, yes, it's not a full head mask. It's like a 3/4 mask, isn't it? So we're not talking full deluxe, but for £11, £11, you cost about 5 times as much as that. Look at it. Look at this though. Look at this. Ooh. Drip, drip, ooze, ooze. You know what? Why am I getting an alien space jockey effect from that? I think it's because of this thing, this big oozy strand here. It looks like that nozzle thing that he seems to have in Alien, the big space jockey in the derelict. No, he's not the space jockey. He's not an engineer. He is a melty, oozy zombie skull. Melty arse, no nose. Look at that, look at that. That's alright, isn't it? That's alright. There's absolutely tons of texture and detail. He's got one blazing mad eye. Red ringed. Lots of capillary action going on there. The skin, you're getting the ring light is warping it out a little bit there. I do apologise. I try to move with the times and it kind of just sets me back in other ways. But take my word for it, the texture on the skin, the indentations, the rips, the gouges are absolutely really, really good. Yes, it's cheap. I know. But you can celebrate cheapness too. You can't get an Incredible Melting Man mask. And to be fair, that doesn't really look like the Incredible Melting Man. Well, but you get the gist. And you could certainly pretend that it was. Shall we put it on? Melt with me. Robocop. Emile. Street trash. Oh, it's a bit weird on that eye. Oh, you can see my eye there. Oh, baby, you've melted my heart. And everything else. Around the back. Oh. I mean, there's not much around the back, is there? Somebody pass me a handkerchief. I've got a very snotty nose. Well, I like it. Come on, that's all right. Look at the paintwork on that. That's actually pretty damn good. Look at the cascade of mucousy, snotty, viscous flesh dripping down. I mean, that's not going to taste nice because you're tasting your own bits and bobs there, aren't you? You know, when you've got a really bad cold and like I'm bunged up and you get that mucousy taste in your mouth and you're like, well, let's spare a thought for this poor guy. Unlike our friend in the movie, he actually has got both ears. Yeah. And folks, that looks great. You know, you could put that with any kind of costume you want. And it's going to look good. It's going to look good. I mean, I think you've got... Is that eye actually drooping? Well, it isn't, is it? I was thinking maybe the eye was hanging down a little bit, but I think when you're wearing it, it's kind of the same level as what your real eye will be. That looks pretty good as well. So you've got all the detail inside here, ripped tendons, stretchy ligaments and sinew, and just melty flesh, just dripping off him. I mean, it's a different thing. Look at that. Oh no! And then that's completely different. It's like that's coming at this guy, and he's going, no, 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 melt. Looks kind of rude, doesn't it? But I'm impressed. I will say that, you know, because it's cheaply done, but it's still, you've got real good depth on that. That's, you know, if you think it looks 3D, it's because it is. There's a real sort of half-inch groove cut into that. That's like, desiccated. And again, same up here and here. And of course, you know, the whole dislodged facial cheekbone structure and the mold is exposed. That is really good. Really good. No, I'm actually impressed with that. I think that eye actually is drooping. I don't know why I'm so concerned about the droopy eye, but there you go. Well, it is, isn't it? That is sort of drooping down a bit. And I like that. Adds a bit more effect. He's on the way down. He's heading south. But I will say that when you're wearing it, as I encountered there, and you get this a lot with like sort of the cheaper, lower end spectrum masks, is that the eye holes aren't very strategically or tactfully cut, so it was kind of sticking in my eye, and I was like, which probably only adds to your performance when you're wearing it. You go, I can't see a thing. I've got mucus in my eye. My brain is oozing out of my head. Where did I get this accent from? I'm melting, and I've gained strength and a hunger for human flesh, and I've also gained a different accent. Must be because you're losing your vocal cords, and your cheek and your tongue's melted, so you're going to sound a bit different, aren't you? There's holes around the nose too, so, well, I say nose. Not much of a nose there, is there? But, you know what I mean? That's actually, no, I like it. That's £11 of the Queen's English. And, you know, you could fund a seal for a week. You could help the homeless. You could do a lot with £11 thinking about it. But you could buy you could buy one of these cheap ass little farty small bottles of whiskey. You could probably buy a couple of them. But you know, £11 for that. That's not bad at all. You know, you've got a big melting pot party coming up. Well, you're kitted out for it. You got it. The colour is great. I mean, you probably aren't getting it so well with my fancy new ring light. And they're rather sort of, it's very sunny outside, so a lot of bleed throughs coming through. I'm trying to work out, do you put the ring light on when it's daytime? Because before I didn't put it on and it still looked it looked crap. And I thought, well, I've got to shut the curtains because the sunlight's streaming through. So I'm kind of fighting the dwindling light in here with the excessive light outside. And how am I doing it? By supplying my own light. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? But so I don't know if you can actually pick this up, but the colours, it's actually, it's pure melted strawberries, raspberries, blood, and it's brain matter. Everything's mingled into one big, livid, open sore wound, and it's just great. And you do get that oozy effect dripping down. It does work. I'm going to put it on again. It's hot in here. Pass me the ice box. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, is that eye drooping? Why am I obsessed with that eye? Gloop. I think the hair ruins it a little bit there. Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. It's absolutely, totally cheap. I got it from Amazon. It cost £11. There you go. That's all the details you need. It's called Screaming Skull, Melting Skull, Shrieking Face. Hang on, there was a tag. There was a tag. There is a tag. Hold on a minute. Oh, it's one of the Molezu masks. I've had a few of these in the past. They actually are pretty good. I don't know why I didn't even notice that. It doesn't say on that what this is called. But anyway, Molezu. And they've got a big email address. So you can find that. Folks, if this has in any way whet your appetite for some melty visaged latex lunacy, then, you know, you can find that. And I've got to say, I actually quite like it. It does what it says. Well, it doesn't say anything, does it really? But it does what it looked like in the picture on Amazon. It melts in a very gloopy, gory kind of fashion. And yeah, I know it's not a full overhead, but hey, you know what I mean? You've got a hood, you put the hoodie down or whatever, and it's around the back of your neck, that's going to cover all that bit up. Or you put the hood up, and you just got looming out. Nice contrast with the blue eye. I will say that if you're up close, the paintwork on the blue iris is, hang on, the white bit's the iris, isn't it? That's the pupil. Yeah, I think I'm right, aren't I? That could be a little bit better. But having said that, it's not bad. For a cheap mask, there's a lot of, you know, subtle shading and variance in all of this desiccation. And look, you can see that, all the texture and the wounds and the striations and the gouges. So it's a mutilation addict's paradise. It's all there, folks. It's all there. Get it before it melts away. Folks, I have been and always shall be Kilt-Man. So please, whatever you do it well. Do it to the best of your ability and damn well enjoy doing it. Otherwise, don't bother doing it in the first place. And I am going to see you all later, as my heart doth melt and my stop button doth not work again.